Okay, in this video, I'm going to go through two projects looking at yield farming. As we know, HEX was designed as a CD to earn more yield, but yield farming is also another way where you could actually put, where you can stake your token to get more yield. So there's a couple of ways. The one that I would look at, I'll look at these two projects and I'll give you a reason why I won't participate in one of them. So the first one I want to look at is this one here, the Orange Grove. So if you have a look here, it's got the normal standard farm, but the thing that would probably be more interested is the single-sided stake for HEX and PulseX with 4% deposit fee. Now the APR looks very nice. It's got 4% deposit fee, so you can deposit a HEX and get more yield, and the yield is paid out in a token called OG. So if you look at the price of OG, it's not good. It's going down constantly. So it's normally when you get yield like this, you sell the yield and swap it back to HEX, and that gives a downward pressure on the incentive token. So it's not a very good model. But the other thing also about the AOG, if you have a look at this token here, the liquidity is only $1,300. So any trade that you're going to do, swapping your OG back to Pulse, you're going to have a problem getting it out. So, it's a great idea, but I wouldn't touch it at this stage until I see more liquidity here. So it's good that projects are getting built on the Pulse chain, but this is still early days. Obviously, it's not saying this is no good, but maybe in the future, if there's more liquidity, yes, I'll come back and look at this. But certainly, staking single-sided stake for PulseX and HEX looks pretty attractive here. But the second one that I want to look at is the Spark Swap. Now, Spark Swap is interesting because it's actually created by EMP Money. So you can have a look at the company itself. They have done a similar project on Binance Smart Chain, and it's been going very well successfully for a while. So it's a known project, by people who have already been doing this successfully on other chain, and now they've just launched it on the Pulse chain. So on this chain, if you have a look here, the total value lock here is 8.5 million. So when you go to DeFi Llama, you can see that when you click into Pulse chain, you can see that PulseX has the biggest value lock, 120 million, followed by Fux 27, and SparkSwap, it's got 5.77 here, so it's number 3, but the actual figure should be 8.5. So obviously it's got a lot of money tied up in these projects. The token itself, it seems to be hovering around here. I mean, anything could happen. It could go down further, it could go up. But there's something that is quite interesting with these. Even though you can do single-sided stake with, say, Pulse, and get 77.32% currently APR. Obviously, this percentage can vary, with time, depending on the number of participants, and also a lot of other factors. So it's not a fixed amount. So I would think that it will come down in time to a more realistic level, like maybe 30% or 20%, something like that. So there is a 4% fee to get in and 4% fee to get out. So you got to factor that in as well, 8%. And then your yield is earned in a token called Spark, which is that chart here. The other cool thing that they have done is instead of getting your yield and then sell it off and giving this downward selling pressure, they've created something called the sparkler. Because when you're participating in the pool, the 4% that you pay goes to buy more pulse, and then they'll pay it up to give you this LP token, Sparks and PLS LP token. So you can actually stake your pulse here, and also you can increase the length of the stake, up to a maximum of 10 years, which is the 3650 club, or which is equivalent to our 5555 stake in Hex. So, and then with that LP, you can then put it back in this farm and then earn more Sparks token. So, or you can take the LP, split it up, and sell one or both of the pair. So it's actually quite good tokenomics. I believe this project will do quite well. But of course, this is all early days. No, it's not financial advice. I'm just showing you what basically some of the features here. What I'm doing. So you're going to make your own decision, obviously. But in this video, I'll go through all the one that you can do. So the first thing you can do is, obviously, when you have your pulse, you could stake your pulse. So let's have a look. I would start with, let me have a look. So I'll put in 59 here. Okay, so that's the number of pulse I want to do. I want to stake. Wrap it. The first thing is to wrap it. Obviously, you need to keep some pulse here for fees. So in this case, I left 10,000 pulse for fees. So I'll just approve this transaction. And so the first thing is you wrap it, and then you stake it. And wrapping it, there's no fees. So you're wrapping it the same number token to the other wrap version, and then basically you just pay the gas fee in pulse. So that's a straightforward transfer. And then the 4% then comes off when you actually do the staking. So at the current APR, so let's have a look. Then you go plus, max, confirm. So this is now taking out the 4% as well as the gas fee. So I'll just approve this transaction on the hardware wallet. So the only thing you need to consider is how long does it take for you to get back the 8% fees. So that's one thing you need to consider. And at the current APR of 77.26%, I mean, assuming it stays that way, but it's probably going to go down half of it anyway. It's about 0.21% per day. So 365 day, 0.21 takes, hang on, wait. So 8% divided by 0.21. So it takes about 38 days, assuming the APR holds. So one thing we got to also consider is as the price of the Sparks drops, the APR also drop. So the APR percentage here is in dollar term. So you're not getting, it's not calculated based on the number token, but on the dollar term. So if the price of Spark doubles, then the APR will also double. Yeah. So that's staked. So the next thing is, once you've staked it, okay, the next thing obviously is, I've done a farm here. I mean, farm is the most risky one because you've got impermanent loss here. And so if the price of Sparks drops, you could end up, swapping your Pulse into Sparks, and your bag could go down in value, in dollar value. So that's a more risky approach. But I've just put some aside, and I think when I started it was $8,000, so it has dropped. So this is probably a more risky play, but it's all as the name suggests, it's an impermanent loss. So you only realize that loss if you cashed out, obviously. So I did it when the ratio was when Sparks was much higher. I think it was about $1 when I did it, and now it's what's the price of Sparks at the moment? It's about 46 cents. So I think when I did it, it's probably up here. So because it's come down 50%, I have obviously the holding obviously dropped substantially. So we've done the pool, we've done the farm, the yield from this liquidity pool. You notice that on this pool, there is no fees, no withdrawal deposit fee, because obviously the project is trying to encourage more people to participate in this pool, the riskiest pool. Okay, now that we've harvested all our Sparks, so the thing is, when you stake your Pulse, it also harvests that at the same time. So that's all harvested. So then we go here. We would now stake. Okay, we'll stake this. We'll stake the maximum. Actually, no, we won't stake the maximum, but what I want to do is I want to show you I said decimal point here. Oh, okay, 572. So let's do half of it. Let's do 287. Okay, let's do 287. 287 for the maximum number of days. So as you can see, when you go maximum number of days, you get 400% share bonus. Yeah. And the APR at the moment is looking like 614%, if you go that duration. But the good thing is you can harvest the yield at any time. So unlike a normal hex state, where you have to wait until the stake ends before you can realize your gain, in this case you can actually harvest it, daily, weekly, whatever, whenever you want. The LP pair, the LP token. So I'll just stake half of it, and the other half I would then show you how to swap it to Pulse, because that's one way we can get our capital back, to cover the 8%. So okay, we'll stake it, and you can see it here. Hang on, it should appear here, or down the bottom here. There we are. Okay, so then the other thing I want to do is harvest this LP, which we have earned. Excuse me. Okay. So the project actually give back the profit, back to the people who are participating in the Sparkler pool. So basically, the Sparkler, those who stake their Spark token are getting a share of the profit in the project, and it will also reduce the selling pressure, because if we start everyone start to lock up their Sparks, there is not as much selling pressure on the token, and obviously it's better for the project. So now that we're the LP, we can go into the farm and we can now increase. We can put this LP back into the liquidity. You don't need to put it back in. You could split it. You could actually let me show you how to do that. So you go into here, you go to liquidity. So over here, your liquidity, you can remove. See, you can actually remove liquidity. You can remove 100% of it, and then it comes back to that many sparks and that many pulse. So that's how you can remove it. So, but what we want to do here now is, let's go dark mode, is actually put it back in the farm. So, which is plus, max, put it back in to earn more yield. There's actually, if you look under info, there's a white paper you can read and you can understand how it all works. It's really good to see projects like these built on Pulse Network, because that would encourage more adoption, more money flow into the project and if there's money coming from outside of the Hex community, this is excellent, for the whole Pulse chain. So yield farming is a very important part of decentralized finance, or DeFi. Obviously, the other part is lending. So we've staked that now. And what's the other thing we haven't done? So we have LP, done the pool. Oh, yep. The other one is the swapping some of the sparks. So if you have a look here, you go to home, and you can see that I still have 288 sparks in the wallet, which I can swap to Pulse. So let's have a look. Sparks, max to Pulse. So as you can see, I like to compare this with there's another protocol which is quite good. It's like a DEX aggregator for Pulse, for PulseX. It's called Petase. Okay, let's have a look. Let's bring it up here. So it's app.petase.io. So the way you get the contract. Okay, let's have a look. This is how you do it. So obviously, after you got sparks, you need to come in here, go in a token, and find your token in here. Is it in here? No, it's not in here. Wow, okay. Okay, that's all right. We'll go to pulsex.com. We'll find the contract here. Spark. Okay, it's not here. That's all right. There's another way. We can go to here. We know this is the right one at Deck Screener. So you copy the contract address here. You then go to Patez and click paste the contract address here, add the Spark in manually. Now that we've got, turn this around, connect wallet, MetaMask, so what we've done is we have used half of our yield in Sparks to swap it to Pulse. The other half we staked it for 10 years. So okay, this is maximum 288.747. Let's see how much we get. 2,973. Okay, 2,973, 420. Oh, it's about the same. 479,724. 73, 420, 73. Oh, you get a little bit more here. So I believe this one used PulseX at the moment, and Patez, you can actually see the root. It actually used PulseX as well, but I'm not sure why it doesn't. Okay, let's have a look here. Let's go contract address, import. Yes, I understand. Import. Go max. Oh, this is V2. V2, you're only getting 80. Okay, go V1. 2 million. Wow, that's a big difference here. Make sure you don't go V2. Go V1. And you probably want this to be turned on as well. Auto routing, turn on. So you go Pulse, Sparks, balance, and see what you get here. So we're just shopping around and see which is the better deal. So 2.973, 2.973. Well, definitely a little bit more there, a little bit more on this one. 2.973,420. Definitely this is the better deal. So I'll go with this one. Okay, let's go. Confirm swap. So we're swapping Sparks to Pulse. Just got to approve it. Fees are cheap, obviously, with Pulse. So it would be good, like to actually initially perhaps recover your 8% or 4% fees, when you start getting the yield. So once you get your 8% fees out for staking the Pulse, then everything else after that is profit from then on. So let's approve this transaction. So that's one way to approach it, is to do the stake, harvest the yield in Sparks weekly, and then perhaps swap some to Pulse to recover the 8% fee, 4% in, 4% out, and then after that, it's pure profit, in this protocol, whatever you used in there. Or if you think the Sparks price will continue to go up or stay around the same or never doesn't go down constantly, then perhaps you could not swap it and just play with the sparklers and all these other and earn more LP token. So there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of possibility in this protocol. It's exciting, and looking at the number of amount locked up in these projects, and also if you look at the liquidity in the Sparks / PLS pool, there is how much? 2.1 million, which is quite a lot. I mean, if you look at, let's have a look here. on the Pulse chain. And if you look at liquidity and sort by liquidity, you've got Pulse X followed by Hex, Pulse / DAI, Incentive, Wrap ETH, and Sparks is down here. So it's fairly high up at 2 million. And it's even got a little logo here. So anyway, I think this project might have a bit of potential in the future. So I hope that helped. I mean, obviously you do your own research. I'm not endorsing anything here. I mean, everything carries a risk. But, you know, this is one way you can earn more yield. You know, any yield is good yield. You know, you got to understand your risk. You got to understand the fees involved in this particular this pool here. You could even stake your DAI, which is interesting. It's also 4% in, 4% out for 111%, or even your Wrap ETH. So this is quite exciting. You know, single-sided stake with very little risk except the fee component. This one, obviously, as I say, you carry more risk due to impermanent loss. And Sparklers, yeah, that's really quite unique in this yield farming. I think it's something they have created, and it's pretty smart in that it doesn't incentivize you to sell off the Sparks token and pushing the price down. But obviously the market can do whatever the market wants to do, and who knows, time will tell. Hope this helped, and thank you very much.